everybody. Great morning, great morning. Super excited to be with you guys this morning. We're getting ready to go live on YouTube in about 4 minutes. So for those of you guys who are just hopping on, Sheri and I have been in a series talking about fixing broken defenses, baby. And we are, I like your bed wrap. So at any rate, guys, what we're going to do is we're going to go live on YouTube. For those of you guys who are on Facebook right now, do me a huge favor. Click the link in the description. Go ahead and hop on over to YouTube. Jackson's in play today, so hopefully he calms down. But if you know any singles, what I want you to do is I want you to jump on today. There are some things that are going down in relationships that really are happening because of things we didn't learn in our single life. And so I want to talk about boundaries today. A lot of us struggle with being able to put boundaries around ourselves. And unfortunately, when you are single and you don't learn how to do that, when you get in a relationship, I promise you, it's going to be mentally impossible to help people act right. Hello? And the reason why is because you are showing them how not to. We're going to talk a little bit about it. What's up, Dana? Hey, Donna. Those of you guys here on Facebook, do me a favor, jump over right now, click the link in the description, and hop on over to YouTube. We're going live on YouTube in about 3 minutes. They're already starting to come in on the YouTube channel. Hey, Teresa, hey, Faye, on YouTube. Good to see everybody. So, guys, listen, if you're on Facebook with us, even if you catch us here on the replay on Facebook, what's up, everybody? I want to encourage everybody to hop over to YouTube. We're going to be there for the next 30 to 40 minutes or so. Talk about boundaries, talk about how to get people to act right in your relationship. I don't know, singles, if you've ever been here where you are involved in a person's life and you guys don't have clear boundaries and it's becoming a problem. So I want to encourage you. We're going to help you guys out in about 2 minutes. Lakita is there on YouTube Live. Good to see you, Lakita. Great to see Dana. Hey, Dana, happy Saturday. We missed you, girl. Want to just invite all of you guys to come on, be a part of it. Again, it's not exclusively for singles. We are going to kind of talk about single life a little bit and how these boundaries are an issue. And if you can help establish that in your single life, things will go much better. You feeling okay this morning? Sheri's moving a little slow. She's taking one on for the team today. She don't feel like great. Hey, Rhea. Again, hop over to YouTube Live. We're going live in about 2 minutes on YouTube. And we will. And Jackson is cutting up. So we're going to hope to get this behind together. Y'all be good. Grab something to drink. Grab your coffee. Grab your tea. Whatever. Grab your water. However you rock it. We'll see you over on YouTube Live, Facebook in about 1 minute and 30 seconds. Y'all be good. We'll talk to you soon. Great morning, YouTube. Great morning, great morning. I hope everybody is well. We're going to get started in about a minute and a half. Super excited to have you guys with us. Do me a huge favor. I want you to put in the chat where you're tuning in from and what's the weather in your area. We can't just take our broken statement. And that's just
we gave them credit.
We gave them credit, and we just going to take this stuff. He ain't got no trade for trees. It's 54 degrees here in Virginia Beach, and we're super excited. Listen, Sheri, you can't take our rope with you. Can't do that. We'll be with you guys in about 1 minute, guys. Hang tight. Sheri's trying to get Jackson together, guys. We're going to be going live here in about 30 seconds. Rhea, it's great to see you. Okay, good to see you. Peter, good to see you. Teresa said, feel better, Sheri. She's saying thank you, thank you, thank you. So we're going to get started here in about 20 seconds, guys. Again, put it in the chat real quick. Let us know where you're chiming in from. What's the weather that look like there? It's 54 degrees, going to go up to 62 degrees. I'm loving this fall weather. Sunny and cool in Suffolk, Virginia. I love it, King. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, baby. Let's get started. You're going to have to behave yourself today, brother. You're going to have to behave yourself today. Great morning, everybody. Great morning. Great morning. Jackson is doing the most, and Sheri is trying to figure it out.
Good morning, guys.
How you feeling this morning, babe? You good?
Eh,
Eh.
eh,
So listen, we're gonna push past and we're gonna try and get
Yes.
up to we're doing well. And even if you can't figure it out, she's gonna figure it out this morning. The People's Agent is in the building.
Good morning,
If y'all have
good
not
morning,
checked
good
out that
morning.
cafe, I am got to get over there. Dominic, do me a favor. Put the address for those of you guys who are in the
Wall
Hampton
Street
Roads area.
Cafe.
The Wall Street Cafe is
you
the
push the
place
mic
to be.
back?
I did.
Okay.
Is the place to be in the Hampton Roads area if you want to get your coffee on, your networking on. You want to talk about how to invest and things like that. They've got people coming through on a regular basis that know way too much about that stuff, and they certainly great place for particularly for black folks to hang out. I love it. They just stole Black Wall Street. They replicated. They just brought it back.
They didn't steal
They
it.
didn't. They said, "Listen, we bringing that back." You know what I mean?
Back.
I
That's
love
right.
it. I love it. So I just love it. It's called the Wall Street Cafe. My guy Dominic Epps and his crew are running that place over there, and I hear it's nice. We got to get on over there. So before we get started today, babe, we're going to talk about some things that we began to break apart in the singles community. But we're going to come right back in about 30 seconds, guys. I want you to do me a huge favor while we're gone. I need you to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Mm-hmm. She is looking amazing, isn't she, Keita? With her little head, I call it a head knot. I think it's a wrap, but it's a head knot. Be careful, baby. Watch what you got happening. Gotcha. All right, we'll be right back right after this, guys. Sheri's trying to get it together. To put in the chat, when you hear the word boundaries, what do you hear? Put that in the chat. Let's go ahead and get started with that. When you hear the word boundaries, what do you hear? Put that in the chat for me. Looking for something really quick there. Come around just 1 second. When you hear the word boundaries, what comes to your mind? Put it in the chat. If you are single, put a 1 in the chat. If you are single, put a 1 in the chat. If you are single, put a 1 in the chat. What's up, everybody?
Good morning.
Y'all doing good? Y'all good? Listen, we've got a lot going on this week, and the grandbabies have been over for the last few days. We're trying to figure it all out in these cramped quarters, but we are loving every minute of it. Jackson is cutting up, so you guys are going to have to give him a minute, and we're going to talk about it. Man, it's so good to see Dana. Dana,
see her lovely face.
I miss your face. Y'all remember when you was little, you go to your grandparents' house, they'd be like, "Come here.
Let me just grab your face.
Let me just kiss your face." That's the way I feel about Dana right now. Dana, if I could I just like, come here, let me grab you. Let me get your face. Let me get it. I miss Dana. Tracy, good to see you. Good to see you. Guys, we're going to talk about boundaries today, peace and discipline. Oh, I love that. We're going to ask in the question,
cross the line.
What do you hear when you hear the word boundaries? For those of you guys who are just hopping in, hey, Todd, what's going on? If you're new to the broadcast, my name's Glenn P. Brooks Jr. I'm an author. I'm a speaker. I'm a coach. And sitting next to me is the lovely, light-skinned
Sheri Brooks Jr., author, speaker, and relationship coach as well. I'm not going through all the titles today.
Yes.
I'm a coach.
Yes.
And so it's great to be with you guys this Saturday morning. It's been a rough week, but we are here. And so we made it through the week.
Yep.
And today is a new day, and I'm grateful for that.
Yep.
Glad to see so many lovely faces on today. Some folks we haven't seen in a minute.
Yep.
Good to see you guys. Good to see you guys joining us this morning. And also some new people. I see we got some new people this morning, so I want to welcome you. If you are new to our channel, please make sure that you subscribe and ring the bell so that you get notifications.
Ring my bell, ring my bell, ring-a-ling-a-ling. Ooh, ring my bell. Jackson, anybody talking to you?
You finished?
Yeah, I'm finished
okay.
now. I'm sorry.
Ring the bell so you can get notifications when we go live, as well as when we post videos on our channel. And once again, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you are new, if your name doesn't have your government name,
right? Please put
that in the chat. If your Facebook channel doesn't have your government name, please put your name so that we can greet you officially. Welcome, Todd Branch. I think I saw a couple other people.
Todd Branch.
Todd Branch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good to meet you, Todd. Great to meet you. How'd you find out about us? Let us know. We're going to get going this morning. Michonne's great to see you. Boundaries brings peace for me. When you hear the word boundaries, I want you to put that in the chat. When you hear the word boundaries, I want to put it in the chat. Jackson has no boundaries. He has no sense of where he begins and we end. He thinks that everything that we do, he's supposed to do. And that's not necessarily true. There are times where he should be over-minding his business and we should be over-minding our business. And the challenge is that when this little joker doesn't want to do that, he interrupts things. There's a lot of people in a lot of relationships where there's a lot of interruption going on. And the problem is that you can't get no sense of peace or no sense of control because you, ma'am, you, sir, personally are out of control. What's going on? Okay, he's a friend of Jeff. Tell Jeff I said thanks for inviting you to come hang out with us, Todd. Love it. Here in Hampton Roads. That's what's up.
Welcome, Francis, Ron, Curtis.
That's what's...
Huh? Were you going to say something? Oh, okay. Francis, Ron, Curtis. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the channel. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe.
Yep.
So you can get notifications. We appreciate you joining us this morning.
We absolutely do. So, guys, what I want to do is I want to get into something. I want y'all to put it in the chat. If I had to put a title on today's talk, I want the title to be called When My No Doesn't Work. When my no doesn't work. He does need therapy. I don't know if there's a dog therapist, but he is going through training, though. He's doing pretty good. I mean, all jokes aside. He's in his...
he just started official training 2 weeks ago.
Yes, and so he's in the beginner's training. There's an intermediate he's going after that, then an advanced, and then he will go to service dog school.
Yes.
Because he's supposed to be a comfort dog. That's what he's supposed to be. But I don't think he knows that yet. And so he's trying to... He's trying to figure that out.
My kids say that I'm his comfort person.
Right.
He's my comfort
more
dog.
Than he's her comfort dog. So at any rate, but I can say that since he's been around, your anxiety has definitely been under control. For sure. So at any rate, guys, we're going to talk about boundaries today. So Sheri, you've not been in the singles call because you were in training with this one.
Right.
And we introduced a new subject for the singles community in the MAPS Relationship Academy. By the way, guys, if you are not a part of the MAPS Relationship Academy, Sheri and I run an online relationship academy. It's called MAPS, Marriages and Parenting Successfully. And what we do there is we have 5 different group coaching platforms. One is for couples, one is for parents, one is for singles who want to position themselves to get married. And then we have one for men only and then one for women only. And what we do there, guys, is that really what we get in a room with people on a Zoom call every week, and we're going through tips, strategies, and your personal situation and coaching you up on how to grow your relationships with great intentionality. And for the entire month of October, we've been talking about boundaries in all of those rooms.
Right.
And what we like to do is take a little slice of what we're dealing with there, come here with it, just to give you guys a sneak preview as to what it is that you guys could do and some things that you could do a little bit better in your personal lives. So if you're part of the MAPS community, put hashtag MAPS rocks in the chat. I see you, Teresa, representing. And we've been talking about with singles, one of the biggest challenges in singles lives, in our lives as singles, when we're single, stop it, give it back.
He has no boundaries.
He has no boundaries. He didn't grab my earbuds. Anyway, what was I saying? In the singles community, one of the things that we have been dealing with, babe, is the fact that when you do not have boundaries around yourself, you are training yourself how to teach people how to treat you.
Right.
Let me say that again. You are going through a level of training on how to teach people how to treat you.
Right. Right.
And if you're not careful, when you actually do get into the marriage that you want, when you get into the dating relationship that you always hope for, you're bringing into that relationship a level of training that teaches people how to disregard or disrespect or not have any honor for your boundaries.
Right. And I think that's one thing people don't realize. When you meet a person in any situation, whether it's dating, even on the job, or just friends, you show people, you demonstrate to people how to treat you. And so if you allow them to mistreat you and you don't speak to it, you don't address it, you ignore it, that's just them.
Yep.
I'm going to just not say nothing.
Yep.
You're telling them that it's okay for them to treat you that way.
Yep.
By not saying anything. And so that's not erecting a boundary. So if there's an area that is, you want to go up?
No, I'm just trying to get you.
If there's an area or there's something that somebody is doing that's crossing a personal boundary for you, if you don't teach them that boundary is there, because remember, boundaries are invisible.
Right.
It's not like you're actually putting up a physical wall. You're not walking around in a physical bubble that people can see.
Right.
Even now with COVID, we're like 6 feet away, but people, some people's depth perception is off, and they don't realize the distance of 6 feet, and so they might be a little close to you. But if you don't tell them, hey, can you back up a little bit? You're inside my space.
Right.
They don't know that they've crossed that boundary.
Exactly. When I think about depth perception, I think about that side view mirror. When you're driving, it says things may appear closer than they really are. Sometimes in your relationships, your depth is off. And when I say your depth is off, meaning what you're responsible for, you begin to put on other people and the vice versa. So there are times in a relationship where my no doesn't really mean no.
Right.
It says no, but it doesn't mean no.
Right.
Now, when we say things like no means no, it's from a fundamental standpoint that it actually means that. But when people say no and they don't really mean no, their actions demonstrate that is not what I mean. So, for instance, if I tell you, do not come over to my house after 10 o'clock, we're dating. And I'm saying, listen, if you're going to come to my house, you're going to have to call. You're going to have to, let me know you're on your way, something to that effect. And I don't want you to just bum rush my situation.
Right. Or how about just don't just show up to my house without calling?
Exactly. Which is fine, right? The problem is that when the person shows up and you open the door and you sit there and you say to them, hey, come on and have a seat. But you told them, don't come to my house without announcing yourself.
Right. But now you've shown them that it's okay for them to just show up whenever. And so when they do it again, and you let them in again, and then the third time you're going to be pissed because you bothered because you was asleep.
Right.
Now you want to say something.
Or you got to go to work and you can't entertain or whatever the case may be.
But you've shown them, you've demonstrated to them that it's okay, that what I say, it doesn't mean what I say, because I let you do it anyway, even though I said don't do that.
And I let you slide. So today I want you guys to put this in the chat. What happens when your no doesn't work, and why is it? Why doesn't my no work? That's going to be the title of what we talk about today. Why doesn't my no work? Hey, Deirdre, good to see you. Miss you and Chris big time. Really sorry for y'all's loss this past couple of weeks. I know you guys have been dealing with some things, but it's great to see you on the call today. There are 3 reasons why your no doesn't work. And I want you to put this in the chat. We're going to talk about it a little bit this morning. If you are not a part of the MAPS Relationship Academy, you want to become a part of that, do me a favor, go to glennpbrooksjr.com, glennpbrooksjr.com.
Right.
It's right there on the screen. It's also behind my head. There's all kinds of places. I want you to go there, and I want you to look for a discovery session, right? It's going to be a free discovery session of which you and I get together on a Zoom call, about 15 minutes, and we're going to find out if you're a fit, what we really do, and if this is something you want to be a part of. We certainly would love to have you. But there are 3 reasons for why you do this. When your no doesn't work, there's a reason for it. Number 1, there are at least 3 reasons again. But number 1, we are our own worst enemies. Put that in the chat. We are our own worst enemies. Put that in the chat. When I'm talking about my no and why it doesn't work, Sheri, I'm saying when I put a restraint on me, why can't I keep it? When I put a restraint on myself and I say, listen, this is the boundary. Listen, you've had too much to eat. You need to push back from the table. Why can't I say no to that?
Because you don't have self-discipline.
I'm not. That's rhetorical.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's rhetorical. We're gonna go there.
Okay.
I'll give you another example. You are sitting down at a game, and maybe you're watching it at a local sports bar, and you've had a drink, and then you've had 2 drinks. And why is it that you can't push away and say that's enough? Why is it that when in the area of your finances, you said that you would stick to a budget? Why can't you do that? Okay. We're going to talk a little bit about that. And one of the reasons is, guys, is because we are our own worst enemies. I want y'all to listen to this. An external problem is easier to deal with than an internal one. When we switch our focus from setting limits on other people to setting limits on ourselves, we make a major shift in responsibility. Here's the truth. Here's the truth. Most of us will give ourselves a pass because we're our own worst enemy. Most of us will give, and here's how that looks. I've had a hard week. And so I deserve a break, right? It is, okay, for me, it is day 17 on a 21-day no sugar detox, of which I've already concluded in my mind. I've stopped counting because I'm going to take this all the way up to Thanksgiving. And the reason why is because I need to practice saying no to me. This is not about losing weight. This is not even at this point about getting clarity, because I have that. I'm clear as a bell. I'm waking up. I'm drinking my water, a gallon a day. I'm doing my CMOS. I'm 17 days, no sugar. That means no refined sugar, no fruits, no none of that, no alcohol, no nothing, right? Anything, bread, right, you name it. If it's got sugar in it, I'm not eating it. Here's the deal. I've gotten to my goal before 21 days. But the reason why I'm going to continue this is because I know internally I still have problems saying no to me. Saying be disciplined in this area. So I am going to teach and train myself on how to do that. So when it comes to saying no to people who want to infringe upon my time, I don't find myself people pleasing them and saying yes and giving them my time when I knew I had this time allotted for something. Right.
And I think it takes a lot of self-discipline to be able to do that. And if we're not disciplined to do it for ourselves, if we can't say no to ourselves in certain areas, it's very hard to say no to other people.
Absolutely.
And so, because if you're not going to, for lack of a better term, disappoint yourself. Or not give yourself instant gratification on something, then it's very hard for you to deny that to anybody else.
Absolutely.
And we see this a lot, especially with parents.
100%.
Your no does not mean no.
Right.
You'll say no to the child and then they pout and you're like, okay, go ahead and get it.
Right. Do me a favor. If you're single, I want you, and we got a bunch of people who are single, what are ways that you struggle with of saying no to you? Put that in the chat. I want to keep this in the single lane.
Right.
Because today I really want to deal with the idea that if you can get this right in your single life, oh my God, your married life is going to go so much better. Because here's the problem. In married life, boundaries get crossed all the time. Right. All the time. Right. Because at this point, there's this thought that says, well, we's married now. What's mine is what's yours is mine. What's mine is mine. Like, bruh, like I ain't got nothing to myself. Like, really?
No.
That whole happy wife, happy life, that comes from no boundaries.
Right. I love you said that what is it? The commercials, the men's, is it the bath soap? Your boy does the commercials. He's just basically saying, I wanted my own bath soap.
Oh, the comedian, your boy D-Ray, not D-Ray. I can't think of his name. Anyway.
Y'all know, it's the Old Spice, I think it is, commercial. And he's like, I just wanted my own soap.
Right. That's all I wanted. Like, why are you using my...
But I like it.
Right. Cherie's stuff that she has, I'm forever grabbing it and saying, hey, I like the way this smells. Or I like the way this, she got the kind with the little, the granules and what is it? The scrub. Exfoliating stuff in the soap. I'm like, bruh, that's fire. Right?
It's for me.
But it was for her. And so what I've had to learn to do is say, can you get me one when you get that? I don't know if they have, I ain't even tripping off the scent. Like, get me the exact one you got. I don't care if it is labeled for girls.
Just get two.
Just get two of them Jones. If you worried about me using yours because I like it. The point is that boundaries get crossed I got Crystal on the, hey, Crystal, good to see you. They be going back and forth about the weighted blanket, right? That's mine's
That's my
though.
blanket.
Right now, that's where you start putting the S on the end of mine.
Mine's.
But that's mine's though, right? So the problem is, babe, we don't practice this idea of putting boundaries around ourselves.
Right, right.
And when you're single, that is the time where the opportunity to do that is greatest.
Mm-hmm.
And quite frankly, it'll have the biggest effect because when you go into the relationship, you go into the relationship with a level of discipline that allows you to be able to be you and make them be them and stay on their side of the line.
Right. And I think a lot of times for singles, I'm looking, trying to see if any singles put any comments in. I don't see any comments yet. But I think that for singles, areas that they struggle with discipline is when it comes to setting discipline, having discipline in order to deny yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't mean deny yourself in a negative way, but sometimes you have to say no.
Mm-hmm.
You can't, just because you're single, you don't have any other responsibilities, doesn't mean that you don't want to get in the habit of always gratifying yourself
Mm-hmm.
in every area.
Right.
Sometimes it's okay to wait.
Right. I'll give you an example. You make your own money, right?
Mm-hmm.
And for instance, that there is this thing that you've always wanted. You have the money to buy it, but many of us don't practice the idea of telling ourselves not now. And the reason why is because I never will forget, and this will be a real life. My mother is single, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's no longer married.
Mm-hmm.
Her and my father got divorced when we were kids. She remarried and she divorced again, right? So here's the deal. She's single. I have had times, I want y'all to hear this very clearly. When we started our business, when I wrote my first book, I never will forget having a school system wanting to purchase like 300 of our books.
Mm-hmm.
It was the book Managing Students Through Relationships, Not Rules. And they wanted to give them to their bus drivers. But the challenge is that in order for me to drop ship them to them, I had to pay pre-order them to send them to them so that I could get paid on the back end in terms of the
Mm-hmm.
purchase order. Y'all already know how that works. If you're an entrepreneur, you get that. Well, if I don't have the product, I have to go get the product. Now, obviously, there's a markup, so there's a profit that I'm going to make, but I can't make a profit if I don't get them the book.
Right.
And I need, at my price, say $300, right? Or $600, whatever the case may be, for 300 books or whatever the case may be, so that I can drop ship them and they can pay me.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all, if I don't have the $600, I got a problem. So I pick up the phone. I say, hey, Ma, you got $600 you can float me until I get this check on the back end and I'll be able to get you back. No worries. Probably take me, I don't know, a month, 30 days. Mm-hmm. She said, oh, no problem. $600, write the check. And then on the back end, when I go to pay her back and I say, thank you, I appreciate that. I ask her a question. I say, Ma, let me ask you a question. How is it that over the course of my career in building things, I'm a grown Apple man, right? But there are times I've needed you. Mm-hmm. And you've been there for me financially. You're not wealthy. You're not this. You're not that. She said, sweetheart, let me share this with you so that you're clear. I live well below my means in order to be a blessing. Mm-hmm. That is the purpose by which I say no to me. Mm-hmm. That messed me up.
Right.
I'm like, yo, what?
Right, because most people don't do that.
Who does that?
Even married or single. Most
right?
of us
it's
don't
like,
think that way.
She could live. I could drive this. I could live in that.
Right.
I'm retired. I've done well with my stuff. I could do a lot of things, but I choose not to because I choose to make myself available for other things that may require that extra.
Right. And that's a legacy mindset. It's when you're thinking that, you're putting aside for a legacy. You're putting aside to be able to help somebody else, to be able to leave something behind for others. And oftentimes, we're that mentality. The more money you make, the more you spend, so when it comes to finances. But even as singles, you living your best life, tomorrow's not promised. Yeah, no, tomorrow's not promised.
But if it comes.
But at the same time.
What you got?
Right. I mean, it's like, I hate this. I always go to parenting for some reason. I think I'm just on that page.
No, I know, but I got to stay singles.
Okay. So I can't think of examples.
Well, it's okay. It's okay.
Well, okay. So no, I can. Okay. So as a single parent, because I was a single parent for a number of years.
Yeah, go to your life. Because you did that for 12 years. Come on.
I often had to say no to me.
Right.
so that
That's a good
I could
example.
have, not even necessarily for the immediate need of my daughter,
Yes.
but just so that I would have the just in case.
Yes.
So I couldn't always do things that I wanted to do. I couldn't always go on the trips that I wanted to go on. I couldn't always, even when it came to dating, there was a season where I was like, well, I need to be focused on her.
Right.
So I have to deny myself.
So you said no to dating because you wanted to be present for her?
Yes.
Y'all hear that? That you talking about you ain't got no examples. That's a whole thing. Like, bro, that's a whole thing. I want to practice being available for my child, so I will say no to dating for a season so that I can be present during this time. We're talking about, for those of you guys who are just hopping on, why does my no not work? Number one, we said because we are our own worst enemies, meaning we give ourselves a pass. Number two is because we withdraw from relationships when we need them the most. I want you to put in the chat, we withdraw from people. Mm-hmm. We withdraw from people that we need.
I don't need nobody. I'm good all by myself.
You've got people in your tribe who are brilliant at certain things. And one of the reasons it's difficult for you to say no, or your no doesn't work, is because you practice pulling away from those people in the time where you need them most. Mm-hmm. We say it all the time. You go for my church goers. You see that Sister So-and-so ain't been there the last 3 weeks. And you trying to figure out, well, what's going on? Only to find out she was going through some things. Mm-hmm. Well, why would you pull away from the people who care about you in the time where you need them the most?
I don't want nobody in my business.
I
don't want nobody in my business. They don't need to know all that.
You see that? You hear that mindset? And that's how we think. We've all done it. Mm-hmm. What goes on in this house stays in this house. Mm-hmm. That's just, I'm just trying to figure some things out.
Because I'm going to tell everybody my business. Don't nobody care about your business.
Let me tell you something. If that's the way you feel, you're not in a real tribe.
And the reality is when we think that way, we're thinking much higher of ourselves, because we think that everybody's so focused on us. That they care about what's going on with us. That they're going to go and tell everybody.
Right. Like that's breaking news.
You're going to be front page news. You're not that important.
Breaking news. Sheri is going through.
You're important.
Sheri is having migraines and she's going through.
You're important, but you're not that important to the point that you should withdraw from people.
Our ego is a trip.
Because we think so highly of ourselves that we think that it's going to be like this breaking news to everybody. Everybody's going to be like, "Ooh, did you hear?
Right.
Did you know?" They don't care.
They don't care.
Because the truth is, if they cared, when you do disappear,
right,
they'd be knocking on your door.
Yep.
So that shows you that you're not that important, but it doesn't mean that people, I'm going to rephrase it. It doesn't mean they don't care. But you're not that important. You're not that center of mind for other people, because they got their own lives. They got their own stuff going on.
Dana said it best.
If you don't introduce your situation to people, they can't focus on you. They won't think about you. So if you fade to black, you faded to black because other people have their own lives. They have other stuff going on. It doesn't mean that they don't care. It doesn't mean you're not important, but you're not that important that they're going to be focused on you.
Right.
In the midst of everything that they're going through. But if you allow people in and you let them know what you're going through,
absolutely,
then they can be there for you, to support you, to help you through it.
Absolutely. One of the things that I am clear on, and Dana said it this way, she said, we all are going through something. I wear a shirt that says we all need some help. That's not just a cute hashtag. It's how I live my life. I've come to the conclusion that being able to say no to me is about putting myself in a position of accountability. Crystal said it also. Yeah. She said people don't want accountability.
Right. You don't want it.
Guys, let me tell you what I've associated with accountability. Every area of my life where I've experienced exponential growth. I need y'all to hear me. Singles, please listen to me. You're looking for the relationship that will last a lifetime. You're looking for the person, or you're trying to attract the person that you would love to spend the rest of your life with. I've had singles tell us, Sheri and I, we want what y'all got. Like, how did y'all do that? Because we didn't come together with the mindset that we have today. We had some components and we worked on a lot of things. Here's what I'm going to submit to you. When you are single, you are in the pole position. You're in front. That's a racing term.
Mm-hmm.
The pole position means that out of the field of 200 drivers, you're number one.
You're in the best position
You're
possible.
in the best position possible. And so what happens is that if you take advantage of that opportunity,
Mm-hmm.
you'll do things like put yourself out there
Mm-hmm.
for the express purpose of making sure people know where you are.
Right.
Let me give you an example. I talked a little bit about some of the areas where I've experienced exponential growth. If I think about personal development, for one, I've experienced the biggest surges in growth when people knew what I was going through,
Right.
what I was attempting to accomplish, and where I was on that spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, leaning into people is natural.
Mm-hmm.
It's become natural. It wasn't always natural. Does that make sense? I am not writing my 7th book because I'm a natural author. Can I? Hello?
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm not Stephen King. You get what I'm saying? I'm not, this is your boy, I'm not J.K. Rowling.
Right.
I'm not, these people are.
That's a JK's a female.
J.K.'s a female.
Yeah.
Did I say it was a him?
Yeah.
I didn't mean to.
That's
Harry Potter
Right.
lady. I am not, listen, that's not me.
Right.
What I am is I'm a speaker who has something to say
Mm-hmm.
that every now and then chooses to put it in a book. I've done it. It'll be 7 times.
Right.
How did I do that? By putting myself into the world of other people. I talk about what I'm going to do. I talk about it to the people who I know will hold me there
Mm-hmm.
and keep my feet to the fire, and then I execute.
Right.
Because if I don't, they going to remind me, bro, what about that thing you said you was going to do, coach?
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm telling you, when you do that as a single person, what happens is that you take those habits into your relationship.
Right.
And that's when the game changes.
Right. And one key thing for singles about allowing yourself to be transparent, about allowing yourself to have some accountability, oftentimes as singles, because let's be honest, sometimes you're tired of being by yourself.
Sure.
And we will sometimes settle into settling.
Sure.
And so, but if you have a tribe of people, you have people around you that you trust, that you have shared with them, this is what I want in a relationship. These are things that in the past that I've experienced that I don't want again. And you allow them in that space. You allow them in that relationship.
Yes.
When you meet a person.
Yes.
They're able to say,
but that ain't
you said that you didn't like that was something that when he said the way he talked to you, I thought you said you didn't like people to talk to you that way.
That was what you
I
mean, I'm just saying.
That's what you said.
But that's what you said.
I'm just, reminding you because I know sometimes we get caught up in our emotions and we forget.
Right. And I love you and it's clear.
Right. And I just want to remind you that you said you didn't want to deal with somebody that, that was their situation. But I mean, if that's, if you're cool with that, that's cool.
I just want to let you know that you kind of off track. Guys, your community, your tribe, put this in the chat, becomes your yellow brick road.
Yes.
If we go to the Wizard of Oz, Dorothy was trying to get to a place. It was Oz.
Mm-hmm.
The place or the path to that was the yellow brick road. Mm-hmm. If she got off the yellow brick road, she will have never reached her Oz.
Or I got a better...
And the challenge becomes, you said that's what you wanted. Mm-hmm. And so at this particular point, if you get off that path, you're not going to get it. And I'm here to help you.
Right. Or I was going to say your community, your tribe helps you to find your blind spots.
Absolutely.
Because when we're going down the road, there are areas that we don't see.
Sure.
There are things, like I said, you're so focused on this, you're missing things. And oftentimes we'll miss red flags. Yep. Because we're, like I said, once you're in a dating relationship, you're so caught up in the emotion. And God forbid if you guys have been physically intimate, you really ain't seeing stuff.
Oh, it's real cloudy now.
It's real cloudy. It's foggy outside.
Yeah, it's real foggy. You can only see on a regular
4 feet in front of you.
Right.
And so, and so
some dense fog is going on.
So you need people around you that can help you to find.
Dense fog. He's all right. Dense fog alerts.
That can help you find.
Dense fog alert.
Help you see those blind spots because you can no longer see them because you're focused. You're looking in one direction. And so you'll lose sight of what your bigger vision is and what your bigger picture is. And so having people around you that you have allowed in, and that's the thing that's key, is you have to allow people in.
That's why Dana is successful in what she does. She said, I have a tribe that will absolutely check me
like
in a New York minute. Guys, let me say this real quick. If you're getting great value out of what we're talking about today, I want you to put me in the chat. I want you to put me in the chat. If you're getting good value out of what we're talking about today, I want you to put me in the chat. And I also want you to subscribe to the channel if you've not done that. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of this year. And we're at 700. I think we can do it. But y'all do me a favor. Subscribe to the channel. Go ahead, babe.
I just wanted to speak to something. Rhea put in, sometimes you don't want to deal with the emotions that speaking the truth will bring. And that's true. But the reality is, if you're going to be in a relationship, a successful relationship, you're going to have to learn how to deal with those
100%.
emotions.
100%.
So it's better to practice it.
Yep.
While you're in a dating situation, allowing your friends, letting people in, let them speak to you. Because
we call that safe country.
Because when you get married, believe me.
Believe me.
If you have not learned how to deal with your emotions when somebody speaks truth to you, you're gonna hit a brick wall.
That's the kind of stuff that divorce is made of, by the way, guys. When you want to talk about the fact that second marriages end in divorce more than 60% of the time, third marriages end in divorce more than 70% of the time. You know why? It's because of this part right here. No one has been able to erect healthy boundaries and maintain them throughout the duration of a relationship. You're not used to nobody checking you.
Right.
You're not used to somebody holding you accountable. You're not used to somebody saying, but that's what you wanted. And so when that happens, you pull back and we say that you withdraw from the relationship that you need the most. Number 3, and we're going to get out of here for the day, is that we try to use willpower to solve our boundary problems. My Lord. Put that in the chat. Willpower.
I can do it.
Willpower. Put that in the chat. Number 3 is willpower. Willpower. Put that in the chat. Let me tell you about willpower. Willpower has a shelf life. I want you to think of willpower like a battery. It runs down.
Yep.
I went to go shave this morning, and I got the little thing to do the nose hairs thing, and I realized my battery ran down. I know there's too much information, but I'm going somewhere with this. I couldn't do all of my grooming because that thing is, and I got little gray hairs to be poking out my nose every now and then. Cherie be looking at him, call me the old man. Y'all ever see them old men growing up? They got the gray hairs coming out their ears and their nose. That is I. And so I be trying to keep myself up, right? And my battery ran down. When I went to run and get another battery, because again, it had ran out. And I realized it ain't the battery, it's the equipment. It's just old, and I need a new one. What do I mean? That's like willpower. Willpower runs out when you need it the most. Hello?
You ever been on a diet?
Come on now.
You trying to eat right. You trying to do the right thing.
Child.
You go out with some friends, or you go to a friend's house. They got your favorite cake or pie
Lord,
or cookie, whatever it is.
Mercy.
Sitting on the table. Or your favorite dish, pasta dish, whatever. And you've been saying, I'm not going to do it.
Right.
I'm not. Well, let me just get a little spoon.
Just a little bit won't hurt.
Let me just get a little bit.
And guys, there's no judgment. We've all been here. I get it. We're talking about us, right? Listen. Sharita messed around and brought stuff in here, and she know I'm on a mission, but she ain't on that mission. And I'm like, but now I'm gonna make it her fault that she brought it in here. No, that was for her. So at this point, I got a choice. I can either decide to man up and stay true to what it is I said I would do, or I could fold. You know what the difference is? The difference is how well I've practiced that over time. See, right now, I don't have cravings for stuff. So she can bring stuff in here that are, quote, my favorite. But my body no longer craves it. After 17 days of no sugar, your cravings kind of go away. Yeah. Right? And so at this point, I see it. I could do it out of habit. It smells good, but it don't call me like it would. That's because I've had a run of being able to deny or put up boundaries around myself that allows me to do that. Under most circumstances, nah, bro, I'm glad you brought that. Matter of fact, next time you run out, bring another one. Because I'm gonna demolish this here.
And that's me. I have no willpower. So whenever I won't say none. I have very little. Mine runs out really, really quickly if I don't have accountability. Accountability is what keeps me going in any area.
Right.
My willpower will
fade. Cherie be like, I'm
quickly.
done. I quit.
Whenever and it's funny because normally whenever when we're talking about diets or a cleanse or something, I'll usually start out and I'll start doing it, and he'll come in and bring something. I'm like, well, what you got?
Right.
Well,
what you got?
Can I have some of that?
I'm like, bro, this ain't nothing to do with you. You was over there watching TV. You
eating celery
and
carrots.
all over here.
And now you want to eat this.
And now you know what I mean? So listen, guys, I want to let you know that if you're single, you can do this. You can create boundaries around yourself that will allow you to develop the habit to be able to institute boundaries in relationships that matters most. What I want to leave you guys is with this, is with this. When you don't practice being kind to you, when you don't practice being safe with you, when you don't practice being committed to you, and I'm purposely not looking at the chat, Sheri, so I'm trying to stay focused as we close out here. The truth of the matter is I cannot bring to a relationship what I have not first brought to myself.
Right.
And I think what is really unfair in relationship, guys, is this, is that now you are expecting me to bring something to the table that I've never developed for me.
Right, right.
So ladies, the way this looks like, you expect him to take care of you in the hard times. Right. When things get real lean, when you've lost your job, or when the kids do something crazy and you need empathy, or you need somebody to be in there with you, right? But you dating a guy, or you hooked up with a cat who's not used to doing that for himself. Right. What makes you think he can do that for you? I need y'all to hear that. And the vice versa is true.
Right.
Fellas, we're looking for ladies who can be there. I need a rider. I need her to hold me down. I need her to be there for me. But we don't practice being there for us.
Right.
Denying us. So that now I can show you better than I can tell you what I want you to be for me, because I'm that for me. Right. Y'all understand that? Right. So when that happens, guys, I need y'all to be very clear. That comes from someplace, and it comes from you developing the habit of being able to discipline yourself to hold yourself in a place where you can grow.
Right. You have to become the person that you want to attract.
Say that again.
You have to become the person that you want to attract. So if you are looking for a person that has certain characteristics, that has certain values, you have to embody that yourself first before you can expect that or
100%.
Attract a person with those same values
100%.
and those same characteristics. You can't be a slob, but you want to marry somebody, or you want to hook up with somebody that's immaculate, that's around, that's immaculate, that cleans,
meticulous,
that's very meticulous, but you're not. But you're a slob.
Right.
Your car looked like somebody just threw a bunch of trash bags in it.
Right.
But you want to hook up. You want to be with somebody who is orderly and this, that, and the other.
Who
but
he smell good.
But you're not that person.
Right. He's so neat. He's so. I like that about him, because I'm none of those things. Bruh,
you're not going to attract that
how
person.
long do you think he going to hang out with you once he finds out not only are you none of those things, but you don't want to be any of those things? Right. So now really what you're expecting is him to do that.
Right.
That's called a maid. That's called a butler. Hire one. Don't date one.
Right.
Certainly don't marry one. Because that's what they do for a living. Right. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Guys, I ain't messing with y'all this morning. Jackson is into his thing. He got his bowl. He done dumped his water bowl,
and he
out
walking
on
around
the floor.
Walking around playing.
And he walking around playing with the water ball like it's a toy. But at any rate, it is what it is. Got lots of work to do on me. Nick K, you ain't said nothing but the truth. And here's what I want everybody to hear.
It takes work. It takes work. And this is one thing I'm going to speak to. And you touched on this a little earlier. We have singles oftentimes say they want what we have. Know that it took us. We will have been married 22 years in January. 22?
Yes.
In January. It has taken work to get to where we are now.
1000%.
It was not always like this. When we came together, the good thing was that we were both already working on ourselves. We already had recognized that there were some areas that we needed to work on, but it has taken time. It's taken work. Mm-hmm. It doesn't just poof, all of a sudden you got this. And I won't even say, because we're not perfect. We don't have a perfect relationship, but we have a functional relationship. That doesn't just happen overnight. It takes work, and it's continuous work.
Absolutely.
We continue to work on our relationship every day for the past 22 long years.
Absolutely. And it's been a journey. And there have been times where we said, you know what, I don't want to do this work. Right. But because we've come to the conclusion that we value our relationship over the work we have to do, we keep going.
Yeah.
And that's what happens in a single relationship. I'm going to leave y'all with this. When you value you over the relationship that you want, you will build the sustainable energy or power that it takes foundationally to make that bad boy work long term. Because you value you. Yep. You won't attract people who don't value you. And the minute they begin come sniffing up your doorstep, you're saying, bruh, you need to get out of my yard because you're not the one. Right. Or sis, appreciate you. You cute, but here's what I don't need. because I value me. Does
Right.
that make sense?
Yes. And singles, remember, and Glenn talked about, you are in the pole position. You have choices. Once you say I do, you've kind of cut off your choices. You got to work with what you got.
Yeah.
You got to make that work.
Right.
You're committed to making that work. But
Correct.
prior to you saying that, you have choices. You get to say what you want and what you don't want. You get to walk away. You get to back up and say, hey, I'm not feeling that. I don't like that about that person. I'm not dealing with you. You get to recognize things. You address it, and if you see that they're not willing to change or grow, I think you owe it to a person, if you're in a relationship, to speak to them and tell them when you see an area that you dislike, or that you see something that rubs you wrong, or that you see that they're crossing their boundary. Once you speak to it, you bring it to their attention. If you see that they're not making an adjustment in that area,
you got choices.
You get to walk away.
You got choices, and that's
you have not made a covenant. You have not made a commitment with that person, so you get to walk away.
Correct.
At that point, and the thing that burdens my heart the most is seeing singles settle.
Yes.
Because we've been together for 5 years.
And I ain't trying to throw all this work away.
But he has not changed, or she has not changed.
What you mean, what work? The hard work of them not changing?
Right. The same issue that you had in year 1 is the same issue you have in year 5, and you guys have talked about it, and it keeps repeating, and you guys have not taken this relationship to another level. Why are you still in it?
Come on now.
Why?
Because you don't value you. That's why.
You're worth more than that. You deserve 100%. To have the best healthy, functional relationship for you.
Love it.
You do not have to settle.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Guys, listen, we're going to get out of here. I appreciate you guys for hanging out. Next week, we're going to get into another area of dealing with boundaries. I hope this series has been helpful to you. If it has, do me a huge favor. Subscribe to the channel. Certainly share this out to as many people as you know so that they can catch this replay. If you catch us by replay, put hashtag replay in the chat so that we can greet you a little bit more personally. Because at the end of the day, I guarantee you this, guys, you cannot get to any place of significance by yourself. Why? Because we all need some help. Y'all be good.
Have a good Saturday.
And we will talk to you soon.
Bye, guys.